Hey, how's it going guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing a $1,300 240 Hz gaming setup.
But before we get into that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by GVGMall, an online marketplace to gain access to some really awesome discounted game keys and more specifically Windows 10 licenses.
So if you guys use the link in the description down below, type in code TB20, you'll get 20% off your Windows 10 Pro activation key, and then you just take the key that they give you, you type into the Windows 10 activation, and that's it, you have Windows 10 activated.
We use GVGMall to buy the Windows 10 keys for a lot of computers. Like all of these computers, we use GVGMall, and it's a very helpful resource that you can use today by using the link in the description down below and also using code TB20 at checkout to save 20%.
So let's continue this video.
Alright guys, so this is a concept that we came up with when we were looking around at budget PCs and how you can push budget PCs to play at higher refresh rates like 144 Hz and more specifically 240 Hz. So we wanted to try to build the cheapest possible configuration using a PC that we built recently, and also a monitor from our friends over at Pixio that's actually quite affordable, and we wanted to see if this combination would work really well for $1,300 to push 240 frames to run a 240 Hz setup.
So as you guys might know from watching our previous setup videos, our setup is a basically complete setup. We have a monitor, we have a full computer, we have a headset, keyboard, mouse, and even a mouse mat right here. So, you know, we got the full setup going, and we're just gonna kind of go over the parts and then put this thing together and see how it does. Alright guys, so what we have here in a previous video, if you want to check it out, is a $700 Intel gaming PC. So what we have as far as the core components go, we have an EVGA GTX 1660 Super, we have an i5-9400F with a nice Scythe low profile cooler, we have 16 gigs of Corsair 3000 megahertz, we have some really nice sleeve cables. It's really an all around good looking build, and the components are really respectable. So this is going to actually do 240 Hz. We can even show you that it'll do that once we get to this. So you know what, let's just go ahead and talk about some of the other parts and just getting eager to do it.
Now, no 240 Hz setup is complete without a 240 Hz monitor, and we're going to start off the parts list right here with the Pixio PX5 Hayabusa 240 Hz gaming monitor. Now, this thing comes in at a little under $300. Sometimes on promo, you can get it for $240 to $250. So honestly, it's a really good value when it comes to 240 Hz gaming. You're going to get really fast response times and that super high refresh rate to play esports titles. The main goal is to hit esports titles like Fortnight, CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, those kind of titles at 1080p, and try to hit the 240 FPS mark on medium-ish settings, maybe high in certain games, but the main goal is to get to that 240 FPS mark so you can get the ultimate fluidity in PC gaming right now. Now, as for the peripherals, we have a keyboard right here from E-Element. Now, you could really go with any mechanical keyboard you want, but we went with this 10 keyless mechanical keyboard because one, I really like the 10 keyless design. It gives you a lot more desk real estate, and also it's a mechanical keyboard that comes in around 40 bucks. You can go with something like the Red Dragon mechanical keyboard, or if you want to spend a little bit more, there's a ton of mechanical keyboards you can get on the market. This has blue switches. So, you know, if you don't like blue switches, there's also a red switch variant as... What was that?
That was me.
So, you know, if you don't like blue switches, there's also a red switch variant as... If for some reason you don't like blue switches, you can also go with a red switch variant that will be a little bit quieter, and especially if you want to get into live streaming, you could definitely benefit from having a quieter keyboard. Now, as for the mouse, we went with the MM711, which is the RGB version of the Coolermaster MM710, which is their ultra-light gaming mouse. This is great for a 240 Hz setup because, you know, this is a top-tier gaming mouse, and if you're going to get decent peripherals to go with a really high refresh rate monitor, might as well get a good mouse to go with it. This coming in around 60 bucks is a great buy. If you don't like the lightweight style of mouse, there will be some alternatives down below that could also save you a little bit of money, but for the money that you're spending on this mouse, you're going to get a lot of value out of it and a pretty unique experience. And lastly, we have a mouse pad from our friends over at Montech. They actually sent this full mouse pad over, a couple of them to do stuff with, so we're going to showcase this one here today. It's a full desk mat, around 20 bucks if you want to pick one up. And lastly, this is the Impow headset. There's really not much to say about it. It's 20 bucks. It sounds pretty damn good. It has a microphone if you want to talk to people. That sounds pretty good. It's very affordable, USB. Really not much to complain about. If you want to spend more money on a headset, you can do that. But again, we figured in this situation, this would be perfectly fine to get you up and running. And overall, for this complete setup, I think we got a pretty good set of components. So how about we go ahead and put this thing together and put it to the test in some of our favorite esports titles. All right, guys, so now that we have this beautiful setup all put together using the Pixio PX5 Hayabusa monitor and then all the peripherals, we're going to go ahead and test some esports titles because ideally that's what you're going to be aiming at if you're going to hit 240 hertz. This is not going to max out like the latest and greatest titles at 240 FPS, but in games like Fortnite, we should be perfectly fine on pro settings, which if you go in settings right now, which is basically epic view distance, everything else on low. So we're going to go ahead and run a team rumble so we can die multiple times and benchmark this and see how it performs. All right, guys, so now we are in Fortnite. So we're gonna go ahead and drop, let's just do right here, this will work. And right now, dropping out, we're getting pretty decent frame rates, around 230 to 240. We'll see exactly what kind of frame rate we get as we land and things start settling, and then we'll see a more extreme use case when we go into some battles. But again, this is on pro settings, and we should be getting close to the 240 FPS mark, if not hovering a little bit above that most of the time. So let's see if we can get some weapons and then go kill some people. All right, in a pretty non-populated area, we're getting around 280 to like 300 occasionally FPS, which is ideal. It's what we're kind of looking for. Now it's just a matter of getting into a fighting situation and see where the frame rate dips and see if we can keep it above 240 most of the time. Let's get it, gamers. He's fishing, he has no idea what's going on. Hey. No!
You just got turned on.
And he laughed at me. I definitely deserve that one.
Binds are different from mine. So you have Z to stairs? I don't like that. Okay, buddy. I tried to be an epic gamer. Look at that double kill, oh my god.
All right, guys, so another game we're going to be testing using the built-in benchmark is Rainbow Six Siege, another esports title. We're going to be using their built-in benchmark tool so we can get like an exact number results so you can actually see an average of around 240 or plus FPS. So we're going to run in medium settings to make sure we get there. You probably could run on higher settings, but we're going to go ahead and let the benchmark see exactly what kind of results we get. So let's do that. So as you can tell, running through the benchmark, we're getting anywhere between about 220 to like even upwards of 280 FPS. So if you want to run on even lower settings, you could get definitely over 240 FPS to get to that 240 hertz range. But this built-in benchmark will show you some exact numbers so you can get an idea of how close we are and maybe some areas we need to upgrade in terms of getting the maximum performance. But right here, as you can tell, an average of 254 FPS, which is ideally what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and test one more game real quick, and then we'll wrap this video up. All right, guys, the last game we're going to be testing is Overwatch because, well, Overwatch. This is another esports title that could probably hit that 240 FPS mark. We got our pro resident gamer, Zach, here, going to go in. Tell him what you're going to do to him, all right?
I'm going to clap some cheeks.
He's going to clap some cheeks. All right, guys, so now we are into a game of free-for-all, and we're going to see what kind of performance we get on medium settings. So right now at medium settings, we're getting below the 240 FPS mark, so definitely if you wanted to adjust this, you know, you could drop it down to like low settings if you wanted to, but that would require a restart. So this is the first game that would probably be one of those games where you get kind of close to the 240 FPS mark, but you probably would want to upgrade some hardware to get even higher frame rate. But it's still buttery smooth, definitely over the 144 FPS mark. But
Chill, bro. Come on, peek me. Peek me.
ooh, how is he not dead? This Junkrat. Oh my god.
You watching Zach get clapped?
Dude, Overwatch is so hard.
Bottleneck from what I'm seeing.
Whoa, 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 what just happened?
Ooh.
I don't like how you can't aim where your grapple goes. This clicks to the nearest thing. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I'm not trying to fight a Reinhardt.
Game pooped on. But yeah, overall, Overwatch is definitely below the 240 hertz mark. It's one of those games where you probably would want to upgrade the GPU if you want to play at a full 240 FPS, but you know, ideally it's over 144, so you're still getting that high refresh rate experience. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up real quick.
Did you try?
All right, guys, so as you can tell, the 240 hertz setup actually did pretty well. One exception was Overwatch. That's where the 1660 Super started to become the bottleneck a little bit. So there is some limitations on what games you could play at 240 FPS, and for a $700 computer, I mean, that's kind of what you can expect. That's a really high frame rate to achieve in most games. So, but overall, we're pretty impressed with the setup, and the fact that you could upgrade around this monitor, the keyboard and mouse and everything is really solid and could upgrade with the computer.
So this Pixio monitor is actually a really good monitor. The fact that you can turn it in like landscape mode, it goes up, down, it swivels, it basically does everything that like a VESA mount would do. And it looks really good. The colors are really vibrant. It's 240 hertz. So, you know, for the price, it's not a bad monitor.
So once again, thanks to Pixio for sending over this monitor. And if you're interested in purchasing any of the parts, or if you want to see this PC build, links in the description down below in the top right corner. That's where you can see more information about this build and also all the parts that make up this entire setup.
So we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.